End stream. Hi, I'm Maureen Tara Nelson of MTN Matchmaking, and I think I finally got us on live. Oh my gosh, what an ordeal this is. As you can see, I'm in my Melville office and I am flying solo. However, my wonderful and fabulous friend from Myrtle Beach, Natalie, is trying to get on, and we all want Natalie on, right? So please, could you post someone and let Natalie know that you want her to come on? And if someone could also let us know that you can hear me. And could also let us know. So that's a good sign. That you can hear me. Okay. So we we just want to know that Natalie can get on. And my life coach, she was trying to get on and she was going to join us, but she wasn't able to get in. So clearly, I'm not the one that does this every week. But we had to do this week because we've been so busy going back and forth for Myrtle Beach and to here with all of our great new clients that I said, no matter what, we have to do a Friday Facebook Live because we have so many questions that people have written in. And I think if people are going to take the time and write in, we have to do the right thing and we have to answer them. So I don't even know where to start because there's just so much news. First, for those that get the Long Island Press, I have a monthly dating column, and the response to that has been beautiful. Literally beautiful what people are writing in. And so last month, I made that entire month to answering those questions. Now, I know our friends in Myrtle Beach, you don't get the Long Island Press, but maybe, just maybe, if you contact the Long Island Press, they will let you somehow get the paper. And I hope that's the case because one of the things that I am trying to do as I have a child, an adult who is trans, I want to have a support group for moms to help us all be better with our kids who are trans. So, if that sounds like something you would like to be a part of, I am going to set up a Facebook group of that you'll be welcome to join. And again, hopefully you'll be able to get the Long Island Press as I talk about it quite often. But it's really for people to write in dating questions. Now, until Natalie figures out how to click the button where it just should take her right on, then I'm just going to start answering the questions myself because now today has to go really fast anyway. And I'm so sorry because uh, we just have so much to do and we love our clients and we will be working here Saturday and Sunday. And our professional photographer, Margaret, will be back this weekend taking professional photos of all the new clients that I signed up the past 2 weeks. On a sad note, I had asked Margaret would she like to participate in this today and we would give tribute to her mom, but she couldn't, which is understandable. Margaret's mom passed away last week, and I knew I was coming here this week, but I was unable to come last week because of that damn tropical storm, Debbie. Made it just impossible. But I'm here now, and so Margaret will be here with me and with us for the next 2 days, not starting Saturday and Sunday, taking professional photos of our new peeps. So, if you're also single and you want to interview with me personally the first time and then get photos, I am going to be open to that. Usually we just don't have time to do something like that, but um, I learned a lot of things with Margaret's mom passing because she was a dynamo. She was amazing. I loved her like a mom. And, life can go by very short. So we really have to appreciate every single second of it. And I know I'm doing that. And hopefully we'll all do that. Also, before I start answering these questions, has anyone noticed that this past month has been insane with everyone around us, people that we're dealing with, mostly in business, but through friends maybe, or just anything? Has anyone noticed that there's something really weird going on? So I found out that we're all going through that thing that every year or 4 times a year, I think it happens. It's called the Mercury retrograde. Now, how many of you knew that that's going on right now? If someone would have asked me, I would have guessed it, but I didn't think of it ahead of time. And I don't even know if I would want to know it ahead of time because I don't know, like maybe I would be manifesting it if I'm thinking it because I do manifest a lot of things and they do work, which is a good thing. But what happens if you manifest bad things? Like again, that Mercury retrograde. It's horrible. So let me know if anyone is also dealing with people that are just not usually the way they normally are. It's just a lot worse and it's crazy. So it's a crazy time of year. And again, it happens 4 times a year. And that's all I know about it. There are experts that know a lot about it. I'm not one of them. But I definitely can see that something's going on in the universe. So, okay, so let's start with the fact that we are hiring. Everyone knows with the uh, new office in Myrtle Beach, I'm going back and forth all the time, and it's a lot. Um, I mean, maybe if I was 30 years old when I first started, 30 something when I first started this business 20 years ago, but it's hard. So we are looking for a couple of really great, as my mother would say, whippersnappers. I like to call them overachievers. So if you're an overachiever, and I think hopefully a recent college grad, because this way, all of you millennials, and I know you're not technically millennials, but I call everyone younger than me millennials. I just think it's funny. But if you're a recent college grad, you probably know all of the technical stuff that people my age, we pay a fortune to people that know that stuff. So if you have all that information, send your resume and cover letter into us at Maureen at mtnmatchmaking.com. Now, for those of you who have been getting my email wrong, and many of you have, my email is MTN for Maureen Tara Nelson rather than MTM. Okay. So, the first question that someone wrote in, and again, we're going to do this fast, but if you'd like to tune in or if you would like to answer some of the questions yourself, it makes it more fun. Okay, so first question is, how do you break up with someone who loves you? That's a really good question because if you think about it, usually when we break up with someone, that person, has probably been a jerk to us and, who cares? You know, you're done. Like what I say, you're done. That's it. But what if that person loves you? Then, that it makes it harder because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings if they love you. You have to be kind about it. So, I mean, that's really what my answer is, to first find out um, if you're the one breaking up with the person. Okay, you're the one breaking up. Then I would just, depending upon the person's personality, if they're a nice person, just be as nice as possible. If the person is a jerk, done. That's all you say. Okay, so hopefully that will help. Okay, so the next question is for people that are doing what I have done. Wow, we've been getting a lot of questions in on people that are now moving to Myrtle Beach by themselves. And I did that last year, a little bit over a year ago. So I did that, didn't know anyone, and I am glad that I did it. So if if you are doing what I did and you want to meet people, Myrtle Beach, I have to say, has so many different groups for all different types of people, for all different wants and needs. So if you want to meet girlfriends, like just cool girls to hang out with, they have that. If you want to meet people just to, like, say, a guy friend situation and a girlfriend, but not exclusive, they have that too. And a lot of times people are not ready for a really intense relationship, and that's okay too. If you run into that, you have to just ask the person, why? Why aren't you ready now? Don't just assume it's because that person wants to play around, because a lot of times it's just not the case. It could be that that person maybe was married for many, many years, and all of a sudden now they're newly single. So, do you really want to jump in to another relationship right away and get engaged and get married right away? Think about that, because I've noticed a lot of women do, but a lot of men don't. And I think it really depends upon the person. I know with me, I actually took my sweet ass time. I took 3 years of going around and trying to meet as many people as possible, not to get married again. And I was asked by my child not to get remarried again, so I didn't. And I waited until he was successful on his own, which is what he asked me when the time came, because that's when I switched over from being a pharmaceutical rep into being a matchmaker. And I met someone right away. We were going to get engaged. And at that time, I thought I would be ready for that. But obviously, I wasn't. My son saw that. Most importantly, my kids were not ready for it. And that's number one, kids, always. So I listened to my oldest son and I waited until he was successful on his own, which was about a year ago. And that's when I sold the house opened up the national office, moved to Myrtle Beach, and said, okay, I'm ready now. And that same son looked me in the eye and said, oh, it's about time. What took you so long? I said, what? You did. You asked me not to get remarried again until you're successful out of the house. And do you know my son looked at me and said, Mom, I was a kid. Why would you have listened to me? So that just brings up another situation that as an adult parent, we have to find the fine line between how happy we want our kids and at what age are they asking questions. If they're 5 or 6, kind of what I had, and they're asking you, can you not get remarried again? Look, they're not going to even remember asking. So you're doing something that, you know, you don't need to do. Now, I don't regret it one bit whatsoever, but if you are going through that situation right now, then you should really take that into consideration. So, okay, so like I said, in Myrtle Beach, there are a lot of different groups, way more than Long Island, but Long Island has some too. So join every single group that's out there, whether it's a sporting club that you like sports, whether like me, a couple of my girlfriends in Myrtle Beach, we want to learn how to play golf. So we're going to do a golfing course, and I'm hoping that my golf instructor will be cute. I actually know a golfing instructor here on Long Island who's written many books, but I have him as a success story. So anyway, so I don't know where Natalie is. I hope I invited her correctly, but anyway, we're almost done with the questions because, like I said, if you see a stack of mail, and I'm here 1 week out of the month, this much mail in a week. So, okay. The next question is, how do you, if you're dating someone, this is a really good question too. How do you know if you're dating someone and that person likes you or not? Because the odds of you both liking each other at the same time, the same exact way, are slim. There's always going to be one person that likes each other a little bit more. And hopefully, if that happens, which it does quite often, hopefully it'll be like an even swap that maybe in the beginning he liked her more, but then as he got to know her more, it flip flopped. And as long as it's basically even, then that's great. But how you can tell is take a step back and look at your relationship. Who's the one that's making all the initial phone calls? Who's the one that is he asking you to come over to his house? Or are you just coming over? Are you the one who's always texting him first? Or does he text you first? Good morning, beautiful, blah, blah, blah. Look at those things. And if you're the one that is always doing that, you have to realize a person just might not be into you. There's a whole book on that. And if you don't have that book, everyone should read it. I have that book right over there. And it's a great book because, look, we hate to admit it, but there are lots of times where you're going out with someone and one of you just likes the other person way too much. If that's the case, pull back and see if this is meant to be or not. Because if it's meant to be, it'll work out in the end. If it's not meant to be, it's not going to work out. And you don't want that feeling of you being the one that's always texting and don't do that. Oh, ladies, especially you, don't do it. Okay? Make sure the guy is always making those first moves because that way you're always going to know he's into me. Okay? Okay, a lady wants to start dating again and she wants to be her best. What are some suggestions? And it said that I usually say to lose weight. Well, looking our best is a reflection of inside how we view ourselves and how well we love ourselves the most. So we have to love ourselves the most. And if we want to look good, it is going to help if you feel great. So, how do you feel great about yourself? It comes down to if you need to lose a couple of pounds, then you should lose a couple of pounds. Now, there are people that look too thin. I'm not talking about you. You might just need to grow your hair a little longer. You never know. But just go around and ask some of your friends, what are guys like? What are girls like? And find out. If you're wearing a hairstyle from the 70s, go to a hairdresser and get that updated. Okay? So, but as far as if you want to lose weight, the best thing to do is to walk, swim now that it's the summer. Try not to drink as much or hardly drink at all. And well, drink a lot of water, obviously. And then definitely get off the sugar. Now, the sugar's the worst thing. I am addicted to Monster caramel flavor. If I would just stop drinking that completely, that would be great. But that's a struggle of mine. But getting off sugar totally, it's not as hard as we think if we do things to help ourselves. For example, does everyone know you can go on YouTube and you can do a free hypnosis and get yourself off of anything? You want to forget that guy? Do a hypnosis to forget about him. You want to get off sugar? Do a hypnosis every single night on how to lose weight. And it will show you sugar, poison. It works. Every time I see sugary things, I now say sugar, poison. So just remember, it's our effort. We have to put in the effort if we want to be our best. Okay. What is the biggest turnoff? A guy asked. With a guy. So the biggest turnoff I would have to say is on having confidence. Okay, all of us, men and women, we all need to know what we're great at, what we need improving on, and don't harp on the things that you need to work on because we all have to work on some things. So, a big turnoff is if someone is always going to be harping on that and not have confidence. So, make sure that do a self analysis. Write down on the left the things you're great at, on the right, things you're not so great at, and concentrate on the things that you're good at and fill your mind with knowing you're great at those things. The things that you need help with, that's what you're going to start manifesting and doing hypnosis videos on how to be better at that. um, let's see, what else? Then I would say another turnoff would be if someone's not fun to be with. So if you're in a relationship right now, see how many times that person makes you laugh. If you're with someone and they make you laugh a lot, that's so great. You know, even that person's into you. They're making you laugh. It's a wonderful feeling. And we all should have that feeling. And the right person will give us that feeling. But if that person is not making you laugh, that's another red flag as to what we talked about before. He's just not into you. Okay, so if you're in a relationship and if you're the one who's only trying to make the other person laugh, clearly you're into that person, but you have to make sure they feel the same way. And if they don't, you have to move on. And move on because you will find the right person. And you might be actually passing up the right person for you by sticking with someone who's not the best for you. Don't be afraid to do that. Okay. um, what is the best turn on? Someone said. Okay. The best thing I think to do is to ask the person that you're with things that they like about you or things that they like in general in a relationship and do those things. Because if you're going to do the things that your partner, the person that you like, is telling you this is what they like, that's going to be a huge turn on for them. And don't be afraid to ask someone that. That's what a relationship is. Asking questions, finding out what they like, what they don't like. Okay? Okay, one more question. Issues I have. Someone wants to know, what issues do I have when it comes to finding someone? It's a little nosy, I would think, the person asking that. Um, I would probably say an issue that I have that I've heard the most, it's a tie. It's a tie between what I do for a living, because a lot of people say, oh, with what you do for a living, you're around guys all the time. Okay, that's the thing of a low self-esteem. Because if I'm in a relationship with someone, I'm with that person. I don't care how many guys I signed up. That has nothing to do with it. Okay, so then the second issue I would say people have told me is that I have a lot of guy friends. They're great. I tease my girlfriends all the time. Everyone knows this. I like my guy friends much better than my girlfriends. Now, I say that in jest, but if you think about it, our girlfriends sometimes cause us stress, unneeded stress for no reason, or we don't know what the reason is. Now, how many of us have guy friends? Every girl should have guy friends. They're the greatest. And, if you're a guy, do you have friends that are girls? Because there's a huge advantage to that. It's being able to say, what do you think of this outfit? Does this look cool? No, where'd you get that? Oh, I got it at the thrift store. I know because my father used to wear that. Who knows? But the point is, you'll always get the truth from a friend that's a girl rather than a girlfriend, and vice versa. So, those are my issues. I have to deal with them, and that's my story. So, anyway, thanks for tuning in. I know many of you like to tune in later. So, fine, fine, fine. I hope you like watching it later, and we'll see you next week. Still send in your questions to us. If you're single, give us a call at 631-577-7940 or 516-444-2861. Okay? So have a great week. All right, bye. I can't believe I did this myself. Wow. all by myself, but I can't stop it. I'm hitting end.